Welcome to the Unraveling the Scriptures channel. Have you ever wondered where Gypsies and Indians really come from? In this video, I will reveal a fascinating curiosity that you might never have considered. Have you ever confused an Indian or a Gypsy with someone from the Middle East? Or perhaps thought an Arab could be Indian? If these questions piqued your curiosity, get ready, because in this video, we will dive deep into the origins of Gypsies and Indians, exploring not only what the Bible says but also what history, Jewish culture, and linguistics reveal. Let's discover if there is indeed a Semitic connection in their origins and uncover secrets that could change your perception of these peoples. The origin of Gypsies and Indians, do they have Semitic descent? In the past, it was believed that Gypsies originated directly from Egypt, an idea that spread due to the English term gypsy, which was interpreted as a reference to the land of the pharaohs. However, this conception was based on a misunderstanding that has been widely refuted by various scholars. For a long time, Gypsies were seen as a people of unknown origin, both to others and to the scholars themselves. With the advancement of research, scholars decided to investigate the Gypsy language, Romani, to determine which language family it belonged to. After a detailed analysis, they discovered that Romani has Indo-European roots, linking it to one of the most spoken languages in India, Hindi. This discovery clarified the true origin of the Gypsies, placing them in the Indian subcontinent rather than Egypt, as previously thought. Moreover, this revelation contributed to a deeper understanding of the rich history and culture of the Gypsies, showing the importance of language as a key to uncovering the origins of a people. Researching and analyzing the Gypsy language was not an easy task, especially because Romani is an oral language, meaning it lacks a traditional written form. This characteristic made the study even more challenging. Once it was discovered that Romani had Indo-European origins, with strong connections to Indian languages like Hindi, it became clear that the Gypsies originated from the Indian subcontinent, specifically northern India. Scholars concluded that the Gypsies left northern India to escape invasions and the Islamization of that region, fleeing from a sultan and spreading to various parts of the world. This exodus resulted in the Gypsy diaspora, which carried their culture and language to different regions, creating a unique and adaptable identity that continues to fascinate scholars and curious minds to this day. Additionally, the discovery of the Indian origins of the Gypsies has helped clarify much about their traditions and cultural practices, which carry deep traces of their roots in the Indian subcontinent. Now, speaking about the origin of the Indian people themselves, it is interesting to explore their lineage according to sacred scriptures. According to these texts, it is possible to trace the lineage of the Indians back to one of Noah's sons. It is believed that part of the Indian population descends from Cush, one of Noah's grandsons and a son of Ham. The earliest inhabitants of India, known as Dravidians, are often associated with the direct descendants of Cush. This association is based on both skin tone and cultural aspects that resemble Cushitic peoples. The Dravidians, who initially settled in southern India, are seen as the original inhabitants of the Indian subcontinent. Their physical and cultural characteristics reinforce the connection to Cush, highlighting the deep Cushitic heritage that remains evident in the diversity and richness of Indian culture. Thus, the early Indians, the Dravidians, are recognized as descendants of Cush, revealing an ancient and significant ancestry that continues to influence the identity of the Indian people to this day. Cush is one of Ham's sons and Noah's grandson, who, according to the biblical narrative and Jewish tradition, helped repopulate the world after the flood. According to these traditions, most of Ham's descendants, known as Cushites, migrated to the African continent. However, Cush, unlike many of his brothers, also ventured into the east, not limiting himself solely to Africa. Among the peoples descended from Cush, we can highlight the Sumerians, who are considered his original descendants, and the native Indians, particularly the Dravidians, who are also viewed as direct descendants of Cush. These Dravidians are considered the first inhabitants of India, forming the base of the original Indian population. However, the genetic and cultural heritage of the Indians is not restricted to the Dravidians alone. India was also influenced by Indo-European peoples, especially the Aryans, who arrived on the subcontinent later. This blend of ancestries, Dravidian and Indo-European, contributed to the rich cultural and ethnic diversity that characterizes modern India, reflecting a complex and multifaceted past that spans from biblical origins to the great migrations and cultural interactions of ancient history. Exactly, Indians also descend from the Aryans, a group that includes peoples such as the Persians, Medes, and others of Indo-European origin. These peoples significantly contributed to the ethnic and cultural composition of India. That's why, in some regions of India, we find people with distinct physical characteristics, such as lighter eyes and lighter skin, in contrast to the Dravidian peoples, who have darker skin tones. This diversity is also reflected in the languages spoken in India. Dravidian languages, spoken mainly in the south of the country, differ significantly from Aryan languages, which have Indo-European roots and are more common in the north. Over the centuries, there has been a fusion between these different lineages, resulting in an Indian population with a rich genetic and cultural heritage, which includes both Persian and Aryan origins as well as Cushitic origins represented by the Dravidians. This diverse mixture is one of the reasons why India is known for its incredible ethnic, linguistic, and cultural variety, forming a unique and complex society. The Persians, Medes, and Aryans are descendants of a very interesting biblical character belonging to the lineage of Japheth. The common ancestor of these peoples is Madai, the son of Japheth. Madai is considered the progenitor of the Medes, and his name is clearly related to the name Medes, which, in turn, also refers to the Persians and other peoples of Medate origin in the biblical narrative. This connection reinforces the idea that the Medes and Persians have deep roots in the lineage of Japheth, one of Noah's 3 sons, linking them to the vast Indo-European family. Regarding the possibility of a Semitic origin in the Indian people, the question is intriguing. Some might argue that Indians, especially the Romani, could have Semitic traits due to certain cultural characteristics, such as nomadism, which is often associated with the descendants of Shem. The nomadic lifestyle of the Romani, for example, could be seen as indicative of some influence or Semitic connection. Although the main Indian lineages are generally associated with Dravidian, Cushitic, and Aryan, Indo-European, ancestries, India's cultural and ethnic diversity allows for the possibility of influences from various other origins, including Semitic ones. It is true that many Indians bear physical similarities to some peoples of the Middle East, such as certain Arabs, and it is easy to confuse some northern Indians with people from Saudi Arabia and other regions of the Middle East. This similarity can be partly explained by the complex interactions and influences between different groups throughout history. Although the primary origins of Indians are Dravidian, Cushitic, and Aryan, Indo-European, there is also a connection to Semitic origins. The Semitic influence on Indian peoples, especially in northern India, can be attributed to interactions with peoples such as the Persians and Medes, who have roots in Madai, a son of Japheth, and possibly also with the Aryans. According to the Book of Jubilees, Madai married one of Shem's daughters, which would make his descendants a combination of Japhetic and Semitic lineages. This mixture could have contributed to some of the similarities observed between Indian peoples and those of the Middle East. Thus, although Indians do not directly descend from Saudi Arabs, there is an indirect Semitic connection through these ancient contacts and cultural mixtures. Exactly, the Persians, Medes, and other Aryan peoples have a Semitic connection, which partly explains the similarity observed between some Indians, especially those from northern India, and peoples of the Middle East. This Semitic influence is evident in the genetics of Indians due to the complex migrations and mixtures of peoples throughout history. A notable example is the Elamites, who inhabited the region of modern-day Iran and were one of the influences on the formation of the Aryan peoples. The Elamites descend from Elam, one of Shem's sons, and their mixing with Persians, Medes, and other Madai peoples contributed to the Semitic genetic heritage present in India. Thus, the presence of Semitic traits in many northern Indians is not a mere coincidence but a reflection of this rich intersection of cultural and genetic lineages. This is corroborated by the Book of Jubilees, which mentions that Madai's wife was one of Shem's daughters, resulting in a combination of Japhetic and Semitic influences in Madai's descendants. This mixture helps explain the physical and cultural characteristics that link some Indians to Middle Eastern peoples. Thank you all for watching until the end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave your comment and like. I would also be happy to receive suggestions for other peoples or topics you would like to see covered. God bless, and see you soon.